I have a confession to make. We are in the Netherlands. My name, Martijn, is a Dutch classic, and I will be talking about cheese. So here's my confession. I'm not actually Dutch, I'm from Belgium. I do apologize, and I hope you'll forgive me. But in the spirit of cheese, love, and understanding, why would you not? Here's what I want to tell you today. To overcome obstacles, we need to come together. It's cheesy, I know. But really, yeah, that's my message. And to explain that to you, I'll be talking not, in some sort of romantic comedy, but about Europe's protected cheeses and their history. And that will prove my point that to overcome obstacles, we need to join forces and come together. The history of the blue cheese Roquefort is a case in point. In 79 after Christ, Pliny the Elder wrote that the cheese of Gaul has a strong taste, like that of medicine. A somewhat cryptic reference, and we will never actually know whether he was talking about Roquefort, but he's often claimed to do so. And that would mean that the historical record for Roquefort spans almost 2 millennia. So we'll never know that for sure, but what we do know for sure is that in 1411, King Charles VI gave the exclusive right of the name Roquefort to the United Villagers of Roquefort-sur-Soulzon. Only they would be allowed to ripen the cheese in the caves below their village and use the name Roquefort. That makes Roquefort the oldest geographical indication in the world, a legally protected food name linked to a specific region. Incidentally, this King Charles VI was also the one who, in 1415, lost the Battle of Agincourt. But really, who cares about historical trivia when we're concerned with cheese here? So in 1411, the exclusive right to the name Roquefort was given to the United Villagers of Roquefort. And let me pause right there, because you may be wondering, why is an economist so positive about protectionism? Doesn't economics teach us that protectionism is bad? Well, in general, when we're talking about protection through import tariffs, for instance, then yes, economics would say that in general, protectionism is bad. But in the case of quality labels, there is actually something to be said for them. And to explain that, allow me to tell you about the market for lemons. No, I know, I'm sorry to be bringing those into a talk about cheese. But when life gives you cheese, you make lemons, right? Well, something along those lines. Anyway, the lemons that I'm talking about are not edible. They're cars, because in American slang, a lemon means a bad used car. So if you've bought a used car, and then after the fact you found out it's actually a bad car, then people will say you've bought a lemon. And so this is the story of a market for lemons that made the economist George Akerlof famous. And here's the gist of that argument. So suppose you want to buy a used car, and you see a car, but you're not quite sure how good it is. So you don't want to pay too much money for it. But on the other side of the market, potential sellers are seeing the low prices on the market, and then those with relatively good cars might prefer to not put them on the market after all. That means that the average quality is going to go down in the market, and then people are going to be willing to pay even less. So in the end, all high-quality cars will go from the market, and only the lemons, only the bad cars will remain, or the market might even disappear entirely. And so in agricultural markets, a similar story can justify protecting and certifying quality goods from specific regional origins. Consumers can then know what it is that they're buying. Roquefort is an example. When you buy Roquefort, you know that it comes from Roquefort. When you buy feta cheese in the EU, you know that you're getting the authentic Greek cheese made with sheep or goat's milk. And when you buy Gouda Holland, you know that you're getting Gouda made with Dutch milk. And so this idea in the EU of collective intellectual property is called geographical indication. So a legal protection for a good that is coming from a specific origin and using specific rules and specific raw materials. Now, okay, what's really the morals of this lemon story? Well, by certifying and protecting these goods, we can ensure their survival, ensure the survival of regional heritage, and a rich choice for consumers. And it's not bad, like protectionism through import tariffs, because it doesn't raise all prices, right? Those who want to buy a cheap blue cheese can, of course, still buy any old blue cheese that they want at a low price. But those who want to get the authentic Roquefort can perhaps pay a bit more, but then also be sure of what it is that they're getting. And the same for feta. Now, sounds great, right? But it gets even cheesier because this system of geographical indications can not only help high-quality producers, protect regional heritage, no, it can also help overcome divisions. And for that, let me tell you about halloumi. So the historical record for halloumi cheese doesn't go quite as far back as for Roquefort. But it's still impressive because in 1554, an Italian book mentions a Cypriot cheese called halloumi. And since 1985, halloumi has been protected within Cyprus and requiring it to be made from sheep or goat's milk. Now, in 2014, the producers of halloumi requested EU-wide protection for their cheese. And normally that takes about a year, perhaps a year and a half, but in the case of halloumi, it took much longer. And this is because there was a geopolitical problem. In fact, since 1974, Cyprus has been divided in a Greek Cypriot south and a Turkish Cypriot north. Dividing the two is the Green Line. And it was said that the EU was withholding protection of halloumi as a carrot, as an incentive for Cypriot reunification. Now, unfortunately, that hasn't quite happened, but since April of this year, 21, halloumi has received protection from the EU. And it gets even better because not only halloumi is protected, no, also hellim, which is the Turkish word for halloumi. And the EU is going to make special provisions so that hellim can travel across the Green Line and be exported into the entire European market. So that means by coming together, the Greek Cypriot producers and the Turkish Cypriot producers were able to obtain protection for their prized agricultural products. Cheese love and understanding. By coming together, producers of quality foods can certify, protect them, protect regional heritage, and ensure a wide variety of choice for consumers. Isn't that great? Cheese love and understanding. Thank you.